أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين خاتم النبيين أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذي أذهب الله عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي أفوض أمري إلى الله بصير بالعباد. Assalamu alaikum jamian wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We've had a long gap and it's early morning here after a long night staying up, sehri and all of that. So I'm a little sleepy. I'm just going to try my best. And let's hope if not 1 hour, we might have a little short session today. So I can just get back into the routine of doing these sessions. And if there are any shortcomings on my part, please forgive me. And may Allah forgive us for our mistakes. So we are going into our journey through Ayatul Kursi, the verse of the throne. And just a reminder that what is the verse of the throne is all about that place where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala resides. And that place is nowhere else other than the heart of a believer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the entire universe cannot encompass me, but the heart of the believer can. Now, the heart of the believer is, there's a saying, I think it's from Rumi, it said that, oh God, how did you put such big griefs and burdens and challenges into my heart when my heart was so small? And Allah says, look at your eyes, they're smaller than your heart, and I've put the entire world in them, right? So the idea is that the heart, what is the heart? What is the actual reality of the heart? And how does it encompass God? Is that, does God actually reside in the heart? Is the whole of God in the heart? Or perhaps the heart is that place through which we can reach to God. And to make my children understand, I say that, just like in the phone, you can see the people you want to talk to. In the phone, in our smartphones now, we can communicate with people who we want to communicate with, and they're not even close by, they're far away. Are they really inside the phone? They're not inside the phone, but phone is that device that helps us get through to our loved ones or the people we want to talk to. So in the same way, the heart is that place through which we can communicate to God, through which we can connect to God, through which we can talk to God, through which the only way through which we can have that connection to God. So who is God? Wherever we turn is the face of God. And so when we start to understand that life entirely in this universe, whatever we experience, the people we meet, the experiences that come in our life, they're all speaking to us. They're all giving us a message. And this message is not a coincidence. It is coming to us with the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And therefore, Allah says that in everything there are His signs. And the signs are what? Signs are something that hold a deeper meaning. For example, we've discussed before that the red color in the signal is symbolic of giving us the message to stop. It is saying something without too much detail, but now it has become a symbol. The red light in the traffic light has become a symbol of guiding us to a certain message that you need to stop. In the same manner, our life also consists of different signs, and our journey is to awaken to these signs, to wake up in a way where we can see these signs and we can gauge what they're saying to us, what they're communicating to us. Why? Because that is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala communicates to us and guides us to our journey, to not only to our destination, but to the right track of our journey as well. Why do I say that? Is because eventually we have all kind of understood and decided that reaching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, qurbat, finding the qurbat of God, being qurbatan ilallah is the ultimate intention, is the ultimate desire for the heart. However, how do we get to him will be decided by our each person's individual journey. Now, I was reading a book in which I think it was Dr. Wayne Dyer, and he was explaining how the intentions are desires, and our attention where it goes is where our desire is. Okay, our desires take up our attention, and these desires within us will kind of dictate to us the path we take to God. Why do I say that? Is because we are motivated by the desires that descend into our heart, right? Like, for example, if I tell you, what do you feel like eating? Right? We don't say, what do you think you should be eating right now? We say, oh, what do you feel like eating, right? The feel of wanting to eat something is a desire. And what we should be eating is something that we intellectually decide. It takes a conscious thought, like I should be eating this, I should be eating healthy, I should be eating that. But the desire in the heart is what we feel, and we feel it in our heart. So a lot of the times, the things that give us pleasure, that gives us joy, that makes us happy is not what the brain says we should be doing, but what the heart feels. And that's why we have to be very careful of where the heart is taking us, because again, there are not just one, but 2 to 3 voices within us. And the journey to finding that particular voice of God then becomes the path to the path to the path to our path, the path to God. And so we see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks to us through our heart, and what we feel like doing, what desires we have are potentially that voice that guides us to our journey. So there are people who will decide their careers, who will say that, you know, I want to be a doctor, or I feel like being an artist. Yesterday, I met a young girl who is studying the art of jewelry making in college. That's her degree. She wants to make jewelry. And I was very interested because it was so good to see that somebody is going into this niche subject, following their heart, and it is something that they feel like doing. And so what we decide through our heart, what we feel like doing, then we realize is something that doesn't just become a duty that we follow, but it is something that starts to energize us. Every morning we wake up and we want to do that thing. We feel like doing it. And slowly, when we keep following our heart in doing that which fills us and energizes us, we realize that it takes us to our calling. It takes us on a path where we see a lot of miracles happen. We see a lot of doors open, a lot of paths open, and it feels so easy to follow that path. Why? Because there's a passion, there's a joy, there's a love for what you're doing that is taking you forward. And instead of the very same thing feeling like a chore, feeling like a duty, feeling like a heavy burden that needs to be taken care of or undertaken or performed, it is something that you want to do. It is something that you feel like doing. So for us to reach our highest potential, to reach our actualization as a human being, to find that place of what we were meant to become in this journey, then aligns with the idea of finding proximity to God. Because through this journey of following the heart, through this journey of finding joy, we can find proximity to God. How is that? Because Rumi says that the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about in the Quran that Adam was given the names, that Adam was taught the names, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names were taught to Adam. Now, these names that were taught to Adam were the names that had to be actualized in Adam. What I mean by that is that insan, the Khalifatullah, the representative of God, has this maqam, has this position, because Allah says I was a hidden treasure and I wanted to be manifested. So we come into the world of manifestation. Allah has embedded his names within us. And now our journey to actualization and perfection is a journey where I can now awaken to these names of God within us. So me awakening to the voice of God within me, and me awakening to my passion and my joy that energizes my soul, that makes me feel happy, that gives me this sense of motivation every day, is the same as me going on my path to finding proximity to God by manifesting God's name within me. But each one of us will have our own particular path to God, which means each one of us will have a particular name of God that we are now destined to manifest in the world. So, for example, some of us, when they become artists, they are manifesting the quality of God, Al-Musawwir. And through this path of God, through this name of God, they are bringing to the world something of them, which was embedded within them, which is energizing their soul. And through this particular way, this particular path of manifesting and expressing a beauty of God, a name of God, a character of God, we will be able to find the marifat of God, be introduced to God. Like we say, قَدْ عَرَفَ نَفْسَهُ فَقَدْ عَرَفَ رَبَّهُ. When you know yourself, you know your God. Because there is a part of you that when you come to actualize it, you see that dimension of God through you. So an artist is able to experience, for example, the process of inspiration, the process of actualizing that inspiration into a thought with clarity, then becoming aware of that thought, and then materializing it through different mediums. Someone will paint it, someone will make a sculpture out of it, someone will write a poem, someone will write a prose, a story. So creative artists will express what they're feeling, what they're going through in a particular way of expression, right? In the same manner, if someone is really interested in going into business and it is their passion, then they are actualizing the quality of God, which is a razak, because they like to provide, a lot of them will be philanthropists, they are jawad, they are generous, they will add to the quality of life of people through what they earn, and that becomes their passion. But they will see the aspect of God which an artist cannot see. The razak is in some way experiencing the quality of providing, the quality of giving, the quality of uplifting people's lives through a particular way. And the artist is now seeing that dimension of God, which is expressing itself through their quality of painting and inspiration and thoughts and how they materialize. And then the idea that, for example, when an artist makes a painting and somebody else comes and sees it and says, oh, wow, I can resonate with this art. This thing you made gave me a lot of peace, or this thing you made, it's so deep, it made me think about XYZ things, right? In the same manner, when we go into nature and we look at the flowers and we look at the trees and we look at the moon, it creates a certain sensation within us. It spurts us into a certain thought, a certain feeling. What the moon does to us, what the flower does to us, is of something of deep beauty and deep appreciation. And that is something an artist can invoke in another human being, which is the work of God. So constantly, what we're seeing is that each one of us is, is a way for God to manifest himself into this world. And how do we come to a place, we were reading in a class recently that a hadith from a book, which let me find it. It's Ayatollah, this is Allama Hussain Tabatabai's book, in which there's a hadith. And in that hadith, I think it's from Imam Ali or the Holy Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in which Allah is saying that when my servant obeys me, then it comes to a point where their hands become my hands, and their eyes become my eyes, and their legs become my legs. And we see that Imam Ali alayhi salam is given these titles, right? Yadullah, the hand of God. And someone asked me this question that, where do we end? Where does God begin? Or where does God begin? Where do we begin? And how do we reconcile this understanding of you're saying I'm nothing, but then you're saying I'm everything. I can do everything. There's no stopping. I'm an empowered human being. I can heal myself. I can do this. I can do that. So at one point you're saying I am everything. I can do all of this, and I have the power to heal myself. And then you're saying that, but no, everything is with God. So there's a little story of Imam Ali alayhi salam, that a person was crossing and they saw Imam Ali, and he was sitting and he was trying to break his bread, and it was so hard he couldn't break it. He was trying to put it under his knees and pull it so he could break the bread into two pieces, but it was very hard and he was finding it difficult. And this man said that, Ali, this is so interesting that the man who broke the door of Khaybar with his two fingers is not able to break his bread. What is going on here? And Imam Ali said, that was him and this is me, right? So the idea is that with him, we are everything, and without him, we are nothing. And if we can awaken to this reality, and then as an artist or as a businessman, if I can awaken to this reality, that whatever is working through me and whatever I am achieving and whatever journey I'm on is him working through me, and I connect myself to him and I awaken to this understanding that truly I am nothing, but I am consciously making an intention for him to work through me. And I'm constantly going to make this aware understanding that whatever is working through me is his, it's not mine. Why isn't it mine? Because I don't know where it's coming from. Where is it coming from? Right? I don't know where it's coming from. Where are the ideas coming from? Where are the color combinations I think of coming from? How is it happening? So if we sit and we reflect, then we start to build a deeper and deeper connection to this higher reality that is constantly working through us, right? This higher reality that is constantly in a presence, making everything happen, and manifesting itself through me, through you, through everything around us. And so it takes us to another way of understanding our journey. And what that is that when I understand that I want to be that conduit of God's work, I want to reach that place where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala finds me worthy of working through me. All it takes is, number one, an intention, all right, to be in the present moment and set a conscious intention that this is how I would like myself to be of service to God, to find proximity to God. to not be petty, but to have that higher calling in life, where it's not just me wanting a certain ideal in life or certain desires in life, but that these desires are not just onto themselves. They're not just as a desire in my heart, but that this desire takes me to a higher place. What I mean by that is that I don't just want to be a businessman who is earning to make a life of getting a nice house and a car and good education for my children, or travels and vacation, but that this desire in my heart makes me a more godly person, because becoming more godly is what takes me closer to God. So when I earn, I see what provisions are like. When I do my charities, I see what Allah's charity looks like, Allah's generosity looks like. And in doing so, I emulate a character of God. Now, in order to emulate a character of God, for example, Al-Wudud, the intimately loving one, or Al-Ghafur, the forgiving one, right? Or Ar-Rahman, the merciful one. In doing all of that, what we see is that a lot of times we forget. We forget that these qualities are within me. And what we start saying is, we start saying, I want someone to be generous to me. I want someone to be merciful to me. I want someone to give me love. And most of all, we say, I want peace. These are our desires, right? So we have a desire. Now let's look at the flip side of desire. I have a desire and I'm saying, I want. And what Allah is saying, that I have put these qualities within you. So instead of saying, I want peace, if for a second I take a pause and I say, I am peace. I am Jawad, the generous one. I am merciful. I am forgiving. Then the more we go deeper into this reflection, the more we sit with this, the more we can do the zikr of these qualities with a conscious intention to emulate them, we will realize that the source of peace runs through us. The tap that is open within us, it's a continuous river of flowing source energy through us. I am the source of peace. I am the source of love. I am the source of mercy. How can I say that? Because where does love come from? Where does mercy come from? Can you see within you? Can you see where is it coming from? So where it comes from is a source within us. And all we need to do is recognize it, that it is within me, and recognize its source, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then understand that the more I recognize that it is within me, the more I find the ability to see it and then be able to give it. So there's a saying that I've put in my room here somewhere, which says that I want to see peace in the world, and the peace that I want to see in the world begins with me. I am the beginning of that peace. I am that. I'm the beginning of that peace. It begins with me. So instead of chasing this desire and feeling this lack of it in our life, like I don't have peace, or I don't have love, or I don't have, someone there doing this for me, instead of thinking like that, what if we were to understand that whatever I need is already within me? Because let's look at an example. We want a house because the house gives me protection. House gives me security. A big house also gives me a name in front of people, gives me a reputation. And I'm seeking a house, a big house, a beautiful house, because I desire the house? No. I desire security. I desire reputation, is the name, right? And the source of this security, and the source of this name, and the source of this beauty is not the house. It is from Allah and it is felt in the heart. And what if Allah were to fill my heart with a sense of security and protection from Him, where even if I'm sleeping, I'm a hitchhiker and I'm sleeping on the road and I'm taking rides from random people and I still feel secure and I still feel that protection? Do I still need that house? So the need for the house is just pointing to a deeper need within me. Now I'm saying this, that I want a house, I want a job, I want money, I want love, and these are my desires. And I'm saying that, okay, my desires will take me to my destination. And then what if I realize that, wait a second, the desire for security, for love, for mercy is what I'm seeking through these possessions, through whatever I'm seeking in the world. For example, I want a bigger social circle, I want friends. All of these people are just going to make me feel more secure. They're going to give me a sense of belonging, a sense of connection, a sense of name. And I feel this security that in times of need, perhaps they will be there for me. And if I need favors, they will be there for me. And they will give me that sense of security. But I'm actually seeking security in the end. And the source of security lies with God. So the desires that come and descend into our heart, we will go after these desires because that becomes our passion. We seek it. Sometimes these passions, they overtake us. And not reaching our desired goal or desire will put us in a state of anxiety or panic that, for example, the need for a house or a need for a good job or a promotion or a good degree, so admission into a good college. These desires will make us restless. It will make us pray to God. It will make us stay up at night. All of these things, when they become a part of our journey, then these things take us to our ultimate need and want. What is it that I truly want beyond all of this? So we can sit and reflect on that. What is it that my heart truly desires out of these outer physical needs? And once we can go to the core of it and we can say, beyond the need for a car, I have a need for XYZ thing. Beyond the need of the house, my real desire is security or protection. And beyond the need for a social circle is the need to belong. Then what we do tap into is that source which is already within me. And the way then to achieve that sense of security is to give it to somebody. Okay. Why? Because in giving, you suddenly realize how much of it you have. In giving, for example, mercy, just a smile to someone, or just a hug to someone, or just a few kind words to someone, or counseling someone, you realize I have something that I can give. If somebody is in a state of panic or restlessness, and your words, your hug, your presence, a phone call can calm them. Sometimes all people need is that sense of feeling that somebody is there. I'm not alone. And if we can just stay on the phone with them and say, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm on the phone with you. And you can just feel my presence. I'm just with you. And it gives them a sense of security. It gives them a sense of not being alone. And imagine we're not doing anything. We're just on the phone, quiet. And the other person is feeling a sense of belonging and peace just because there is someone there with them. So imagine what we hold within us. What power do we hold within us? We hold a sense of peace for the other person. We hold a sense of belonging for the other person. And when we give it, we recognize its existence within us. We recognize that we hold that peace. Otherwise, how can we give it, right? I have it, so I'm giving it. I have peace within me. I have love within me. I have joy within me, and I'm giving it. And I can give it to the other person. So, a lot of times when we feel betrayed and we feel like we've done too much and people don't return the good, and what you do is not reciprocated, and journey becomes tiring, and you keep giving and you keep giving, and then you come to a point where you say, I don't have any love to give. I don't have it. Then all we need to do is to come into a place of silence and reflect. Where does love come from? Where is it? How does it reach us? What is love? Isn't the breath we take a sign of love from God? Isn't the working eyes that see a sign of gift from God? So, all of this without doing anything extra, where is it coming from? Do I really have it? And suddenly, by saying, I am peace, you suddenly feel an expansion. Just the words, I want peace, when it is switched to I am peace, creates a shift. And that's why this word I am is a very, very, very strong meditation, to just sit with the word I am, I am. And then we can say any name of God. I am peace, I am love. And when we say Allah's name, Ya Salamo or Ya Wududo or Ya Rahman, we are not doing a dhikr of a God that is outside of us. Not just that. Yes, He is manifesting His love through everything that we see around us outside of us too. But the main idea of doing dhikr of Allah's names is to recognize the existence of Allah's names within us. And when we feel like we're called to a certain name of God, then it is a name that needs to be activated within us. So now, a name of God will have two aspects to it. One aspect is to recognize a certain quality and character in God. If God is Hayy, like we're doing in Ayatul Kursi, if God is Hayy, then He is the one who gives life. He's the giver of life, number one. He is also life Himself. So the life we see around us is His manifestation because He is life itself. So an aspect of Allah's name is showing to us who He is. But an aspect of that zikr is also saying to us that quality of life is also within me. And not only is it within me, I have this life within me, but also that I can also be a giver of life, just like He is a giver of life, because I am His representative. So, life, Al-Hayy, is something that we can understand in many ways, right? And while Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being the life of life itself, being the existence, being the consciousness that gives life to everything, every flower that blooms, then it wilts. And when it wilts, in its wilting is the sign of life. How? Because yesterday I was listening to a lecture and there was a beautiful point that he brought up. And he said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says that Allah is the one who gives death and He gives the life, right? And He says the word death first. I can't recall the exact ayat, but he was saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He doesn't say life and death, He says death and life. Why does Allah say death first, right? And the idea over here is that in the absence of life, do you value the life? Are we able to value life, right? If the flowers were going to be there forever, we wouldn't understand that these flowers can wilt. In the wilting of the flower, do we value the fresh flower, right? That's why there is a value to a fresh flower compared to an artificial flower, because there is a very limited life to this flower that we enjoy. There's a freshness, there's a beauty to this flower, which is very limited in its time. So the same way in our journey, the value of our life comes because of the idea of death. The lack of existence gives value to the existence. In my life, if I knew my life is forever, I would not value this life because it is forever. I'm just living, I'm doing whatever I'm doing in the worldly life, in the manifested world. And so me being life is given importance by me because I value death, because I understand that this life can end at any time. So not only am I being given life from the God who is life, He is the giver of life, He is the all living, He is the living one, He is the giver of life. I have been granted life. I am life. I am a breathing manifestation of the life that is given to me. And now I manifest this idea of life. I can give life to others. How do I give life to others? I can give life to someone who is sad, who is feeling dead inside, and I can bring joy to them. I can bring healing to their heart. Somebody who doesn't value life, my presence can bring value into their life. There are little videos online, where people, they just go around telling people, oh, you're looking so nice today. I love your glasses, or you're shining like the sun, and they make these experiment videos. And in those videos, you just see how much these other people who are strangers on the road, they just cheer up and they're blushing and they're taken by surprise and they're like, oh, wow, really? And and then we see other videos, right, in which they show how when one good deed is done to one person, they automatically give it to the next person. When someone comes and smiles at you and says, I just felt like smiling at you today, I wanted to cheer you up, you automatically feel like doing it for another person that you see was down. And what you realize is that if someone else can give it to me, I can give it to somebody. I also have it with me. But that first person who said, I want to give, came from that very same place. What is that place? That place of knowing that the source lies within me. And when I give is when I realize how much of it I have. When I give joy, when I give happiness, when I give peace, is when there is a practical and experiential recognition that, hold on, I can only give peace if I have it with me. I can only smile and make others happy when that joy is within me. How can I give something that I wouldn't have? And so, in that sense, we start to understand that whatever we are seeking is within us through this heart, this connection to God. We understand that our desires for anything that descend in our heart, the passions that come to us on deeper reflection, are a certain need that needs to be fulfilled. They're not the thing itself. Things will not fill that void. What will fill the void is the feeling we derive out of achieving those things, right? For example, teenagers, they want to fit in. They want to wear the clothes everybody wears. They want to carry, phones that everybody else has. They want to do the fashion that other people have. Even adults, even as adults, we like to fit in. We like to possess those things, and that gives us a sense of completeness. We feel like if I have these things, then I will fit in. If I have these things, then I won't feel like they have it and I don't have it. I would feel better about myself. And if we look deeper into this desire, what is this desire? This desire is to feel enough. It's like we have decided that we're not complete, we're not enough on our own. So we need something externally to complete us that will make us feel good about ourselves. I'm not feeling good about myself already. So I need 10 other things as embellishments. And then that will make me feel complete. And when I feel complete, I will be confident. And when I'm confident, I won't have a complex. But the idea is that that thing that we get stuck on, that we're like, I really, really want this, then I will feel complete, is a mirage. You keep seeking it and it keeps moving further. When you have one thing, then you want another thing. You want another thing, then you want another thing. because there's no end to fashion, there's no end to possessions, there's no end to these things. And life will throw us and really teach us, because a lot of times the things we think will make us complete or give us that sense of completion will kind of slip out of our hands, and sometimes we're not able to get it. We're so clingy, we feel like without it I'm not complete, without it I'm not, I just have to have that thing, and it doesn't come within reach sometimes. And we start thinking, Allah, I asked you for this thing, why aren't you giving it to me? And the reason it is slipping out is because we're feeling like with it, I will be complete. If I have this, I will be enough. Then I will feel better about myself. Then I will have some sense of confidence about who I am. And it slips out. Why? Why does it slip out? Because if we have it, then this pain of feeling incomplete will vanish and the real work will be left. So, in the absence of that thing, there is a pain within me which is saying, I'm incomplete, I'm incomplete, I'm incomplete, I'm not good enough. And that pain and that desire, right? The desire that is unfulfilled is accompanied by a pain of not getting that desire fulfilled, right? And with this pain, we are triggered, we are motivated, we are pushed into going into a journey within ourselves. And through that pain, we come into a place within us where we recognize ourselves and we say, okay, I'm desiring these things because I feel incomplete. And who is the source of completing me is God Himself. He's the one who is perfect. He's the one who is complete. He's the one who is enough. He is wakafa billahi wakila. Allah is enough for me as my wakil. He's the one who is enough. So when we come to a place of this deep reflection, that my outer desires are pointing, they are signs, everything is a sign, it is talking to me. My desires that get fulfilled and my desires that don't get fulfilled are talking to me. And the ones that are not getting fulfilled are pointing towards something within me which needs to be addressed. What is it that I feel a lack in? And then how can I feel that completion through God? And once I can sit with myself and I can recognize that the lack that I feel within me is a feeling that I'm seeking. I'm seeking a feeling of completion and wholeness, right? I'm seeking a feeling of validation, of confidence, of being loved, of being appreciated. And how will I complete that is if I could recognize that the only source of completing that, things are just the means, right? Beautiful things make me feel beautiful. They are just a means. A flower in my hair will make me feel beautiful. But that source of beauty is not the flower. It is just a means. The source of beauty is God. And if I can go directly to the source, and if I can seek to the source for it, then what God opens for us is the idea that in giving is what you get. Because when you give it to someone else, then you recognize that you can give it to yourself too. You can also give beauty to yourself. You can also give mercy to yourself. You can give security to yourself. You have it within you. So talking about it and saying it constantly is not what the aim is here. And perhaps in this month of Ramzan, when we're trying to deepen our reflection and we're trying to deepen our connection to God and our inner work, we can just sit with these ideas and see where they take us and see what they make us feel. The idea that I'm seeking something and what I'm seeking is within me, and what I'm seeking within me can be achieved by sharing it with others and by saying, I am this, I am this, I am this, and then see where it takes us. Because surely, if the source of all goodness and beauty lies within us, then we're actually not dependent on anyone other than God. And there's a name of God, As-Samad. Allah is Samad. He's independent. He is free of need from anyone. And what we can do then is develop that connection of Iyaka na'budu wa Iyaka nasta'in. And I worship you and only yours am I a servant, right? And so it just becomes this very private journey now. And when we do this kind of work, all right, then in the world of in the law of mirror, right, what we are is being mirrored in the world, right? Allah is saying that whatever I have placed within you is what you see in the horizon. Sanurihim ayatina fil afaqi wa fi anfusihim. Whatever you see outside is whatever is within you. There's a mirror. We mirror whatever is within me, you will see outside. And then Allah says, I will not change the condition of a people who don't change what is within themselves. So what is within me, if I'm constantly feeling this lack within me, then I'm not enough, I'm not complete, I'm not good enough, I don't have love, I'm not at peace, then that is what is going to be mirrored in my life. I'm going to constantly see that. But if I come into this place where I start to just work on myself from within, and what happens is there's an amazing speaker, Michael Beckwith. He's a pastor, and I just love the way he explains things. And what he said is that if you can change your inner vibration, if you can change your inner reality, then the outer reality is just going to catch up to it. It's just going to catch up. You don't need to change the outer. All you need to do is change your within. And I will just end our talk here with the saying of Rumi. And Rumi says, yesterday I was clever and I wanted to change the world. And today I'm wise and I wanted to change myself. And it is all completely aligned with the principle of God in Quran, right? That Allah will not change the condition of a people who don't change what is within themselves. So inshallah, this is good food for thought for myself, firstly for myself, and then hopefully it can bring some sort of ease and transformation to the hearts, because Allah says, Allah bi dhikrillah tatma'innul qulub. And that is the idea that zikr can be transformative for the soul if we can understand the value of the zikr. If while we're saying the names of God, we can actually sit with the reality that these names have been granted to us, they're embedded within us. And we have that within us. I am peace. I am as-salam. I have the peace within me, and I can just be the source of giving it because that source lies within me. Allah is connected in me. The problem only comes when I forget that. I forget that the source is open within me. So I start to think I don't have it within me. It's a sense of forgetfulness. I forget that I am peace. And to just remember that I am peace just opens the path and connection to God, right? So I will just request you all to put up your hands for dua. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, oh Allah, forgive our shortcomings. I felt like I was all over the place today, but Allah is the one who puts value, effectiveness in the message. And may Allah bring peace and joy and love into the hearts of those who listen. And all the mistakes are from me, and all perfection is from Him. Oh Allah, we seek your forgiveness. And we seek your forgiveness from not wanting or not being ready to be asking for forgiveness, not recognizing that we need to ask forgiveness, Ya Allah. Sometimes we get lost and we feel like we don't have anything to ask forgiveness for. What am I going to ask for forgiveness? It's a state of arrogance, Ya Allah, and we seek forgiveness for that. O Allah. O Allah, forgive our obliviousness. O Allah, forgive our weaknesses, our forgetfulness, our moments of disconnect. O Allah, return to us that connection. Take us back to your connection. Hold our hands and bring us back into states of awareness, into states of presence. O Allah, open for us the doors that we find closed. O Allah, open for us the path that we find so confusing and bring clarity and certainty in our hearts. O Allah, most of all, give us the strength, give us the understanding, the burhan, the light, the nur, for us to treat this journey, to tread this path in the best possible way, in the way you would require and want us to. O Allah, enable us to be one of those who are in the close proximity of you, your beloveds, and enable us to be one of those who have your special favor. We ask you, Ya Allah, not because we are worthy, but we ask you because you are the generous one. Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Thank you, everyone, for joining for this session. And thank you, Naseem Auntie. It was so lovely to see you. Please remember us in your prayers. And with all my love, I'll take your leave. And everyone, remember me in your duas and have a lovely weekend and best of luck.
Get some rest.
Yeah, I will need to go. I'm feeling so sleepy.
Your eyes look so tired.
Yeah.
You did a good job, though.
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, it's all him. Thank you. Take care. Lots of love, everyone. Khuda Hafiz.